doesn't matter. Your income doesn't matter. Your age doesn't matter. Your race doesn't matter. Your geographical location doesn't matter. There's a thing that you and I are dealing with in your money, and it's called math. And none of those things I just mentioned give you a pass on math. And where people get themselves in trouble, including when I went broke many years ago because I was stupid, we get ourselves in trouble when we don't bother and do the math before we do the transaction. We're the stupid woman from San Diego who leased her dog for $5,400. We make $90,000 a year, and somehow in our brains figure out that our children deserve a $50,000 Honda SUV. And now we have to take the kids out of private school because we can't pay the payments on the SUV and the private school because we didn't do math. We're 21 years old. We buy a $10,000 car, run up $10,000 in credit card debt, and have $10,000 in medical bills and make $30,000 a year. When you make $30,000 a year, there's nowhere in that plan that the $10,000 car makes sense. There's nowhere in that plan that running up a bunch of credit card debt gives you any room to breathe. You already can't breathe. We have 3 kids. We make $28,000 a year. Should I go back to work, the woman asks. $28,000 income with 3 kids. Our health care is provided by Medicaid, which is welfare, because we qualify. If I go back to work, we won't qualify for that. And if I go back to work, they'll have to pay for daycare. When you make $30,000 a year, there's nowhere in that plan that the $10,000 car makes sense. There's nowhere in that plan that running up a bunch of credit card debt gives you any room to breathe. You already can't breathe. We have 3 kids. We make $28,000 a year. Should I go back to work, the woman asks. $28,000 income with 3 kids. We have 3 kids. We make $28,000 a year. Should I go back to work, the woman asks. $28,000 income with 3 kids. We have 3 kids. We make $28,000 a year. Should I go back to work, the woman asks. $28,000 income with 3 kids. We have 3 kids. We make $28,000 a year. Should I go back to work, the woman asks. $28,000 income with 3 kids. We have 3 kids. Dave Ramsey, humans. And listen, I like to bring my little show in, Dave Ramsey, and listening to Dave Ramsey, that what in which he was talking about just then is perfect for what I want to talk about today. Hello, y'all. Welcome to this thing I called The Experience, the National Fathers League of Dads Talk Radio, 98.3.com FM. I am CHRIS1 of the CHRIS1 Radio Group. I'm doing it from home. I am not over at Todd Smith Studios, but the message will come across just the same. I truly need to thank some individuals for their much appreciated contribution to the movement. And that is Jimmy McDonald, as well as my man, Sean G, making Jimmy. I'm going to definitely get that book out today. Made a $25 contribution. And then Sean G made a $10 contribution. So I definitely appreciate that, man. I really do. I don't hate it. I appreciate it. But I got something I want to talk to you guys about this morning. And it's just part of the dynamics and what I bring to the table, my knowledge as such. And part of what I do always boil over into my profession, my work, what I do. I do have a one-on-one to do today at 3:30. So I'm going to definitely keep you guys posted on that. But I want to talk to you guys about Black people.
And I want to talk to you guys about black people because there seems to be a disconnect with black people in what you think it is and what it actually is. And there's a disconnect because of what you think it is, because all the average person does in the community you guys call black is you want to compare yourself to white people. And you want to compare yourself to white people out of convenience of wrong. You don't want to compare yourself to white people when it comes to establishing yourself in the levels in life. You don't seem to want to do that. And I'm gonna tell you what I mean when I say that. We are great at saying what white people do compared to what we do. We're great at saying that. We are great. We are great at making comparisons to us. We are great at making comparisons in specific points across the board. And what I always tell y'all is white people can afford to make more mistakes than we can. I want to be clear about something. If you're standing on a cliff and if you're out on a cliff, sneezing is more tragic than if you was in your bed and you sneezed and you was sitting up in your bed. You got more wiggle room. You got more time for your body to jerk and you did, do all that laying in your bed than you would if you was on a dang on cliff. Okay, let's be clear. But for some reason, you guys don't understand that perspective. You got that perspective just gets past you. You are under the impression that every time and every situation is the same across the board. So allow me, because back in 1989, when my brother was killed by a cop, my family got a firsthand understanding on how it is, and I do not disagree with it, not one bit. All right. So allow me to take you guys around the world. And once again, I appreciate you guys for being here. Appreciate those thumbs up. I am here every morning at 10 a.m. and every night at 9 p.m. If I'm not going to be here, then I'll play something that was pre-recorded and I'll load it up. But I'm gonna definitely. I realized one of the reasons. I realized that one of the reasons as to why I am not growing like I want to is because I was sporadic. I was putting a lot of outside activities before this, which is my platform to grow it. I can't do that no more, and I'm not doing that. I'm leaving 2020 and transitioning. Transitioning. There's that word. I am transitioning into 2021 on a schedule. So I need you guys to follow me. That crackling noise just doesn't help, does it? Okay. So the question that I asked today for the 29th of December, 2021, black people, you do know you set your own worth. You do know you set your own worth. So if I asked that question, excuse me, if I asked that question, if I ask that question, black people, you do know you set your own worth. What uh what would you say? What would you say? Because let me tell you what you've been doing. You've been allowing, or you've been assuming that white America sets your own worth. Yeah, you have. That's what you've been under. You've been under this unfortunate assumption that white people set your own worth, and because white people because you can say you're not into it, but you have allowed white people to validate you, and that's why you think that. This is why a lot of us want to go to the court system to handle our issues. This is why we go to the court system to handle our issues. That's why. And you go to the court system to handle your issues because you have allowed them to validate your worth. Now I need y'all to follow me. So we're gonna start it off like this. All right. We're gonna start it off like this. You know, I'm such a nerd, so just hang on. Um People, you do know the reason why you do know the reason why hold on. 10 a.m. Hold on. Okay. Okay. YouTube. Okay, yeah, go YouTube forward slash. Okay. C forward slash the hated one. All right. Check this out. I'm gonna break it down to you like this. People, do you know why cars in other countries are worth more than cars in the United States? Do you have any idea why? Okay. People, the reason why cars in other countries are worth more than cars in the United States is because cars in other countries are built by people for their people. Japanese cars, they build their cars for the Japanese people. German cars, they build their cars for the German people. So let's take those two and go into its perspective. It's the reason why Lexus have better liability than a Mercedes. You see, a Mercedes is a German car. And in Germany, there are no speed limits on the Autobahn. You can go as fast as you want. When you build a car for the people, like Germans, they build cars for the people, and their people are allowed to just drive as fast as they want. You have to build a car to accommodate your people. The unfortunate is when you build a car to accommodate your people, you're building a fast car. Fast cars break down. There's a lot of stuff going on in that engine to have it give it the ability to reach those speeds. So you build a car for the people. This is why German cars just constantly, Mercedes-Benz just get better and better and better and better. Every car get better, but nobody does leaps and bounds like Mercedes. It is said that this is 2020. Mercedes-Benz is already building their cars for 2028. That is so far ahead that they stay ahead of the pack. But I need y'all to follow me. So Japanese, they don't have that perspective. And in Japan, it's cluttered, it's crowded, and they build cars to more of a commuter thing. This is why all the mopeds and motorcycles is big in Japan, because it's just it's smaller there, and the roads and everything just not the same. So they build different cars. Now, when you look at the American car is built by the Americans. And American is all about that mighty dollar. And because America is about that mighty dollar, they're not going to build a good product. Because if they build a good product, you're going to keep that car for a long time and they're not going to make more money. So what do? They specifically design cars with like a 5 to 6, possibly a 7 year life. This is why you pay for a car, but as soon as you pay it off, it breaks down. It's American cars are the worst. If you go to a used car dealership and all they got in there is American cars, don't buy a car from that lot. Just don't do it. All right, because those cars cost pennies at the auto auction, and that's why they got them, because they ain't worth nothing. But I need y'all to follow me, because I'm asking you. You do know you set your own worth. Now, how does that coincide? It goes to coincide that the Germans build cars for the German people, Japanese build cars for the Japanese people, America build cars for the American people, and you, as a person, you set your own worth. How do you set your own worth? Well, I'm glad you asked. How do you set your own worth? You do know that if you can make reference to the one thing that I always say, and I always can tell, just how much of an individual hire me for my services and how they want to be a father based on the circumstances of the mother in the position that they are in, if they're going to take advantage of that situation or not. For example, if you have a career or a job that pays you $80,000 a year and you're dating a woman, or you had a child with a woman that is on welfare, and that woman has custody of the child, you don't want custody, because those are the easiest ones to get the child from, because you're not going to court playing the game that women most of the time play, and that is character assassination. Because there's no way in heck, on no mathematical scale that exists, I'm talking trigonometry, algebra, or simple mathematics, there's no mathematics on this planet that can tell me how a person that's on welfare got custody of a child and you got a decent paying job. It's just no way. The reason why you don't have custody is you're not setting the stage to give yourself possession of your child. Talking to you fathers now. So I'm saying, black people, you do know that you set your own worth. So let me tell you one thing about this thing that I seen. I don't know what it was. It was a white politician, and they were surrounded by a bunch of women of color. And I think it was a white man. I don't think he was a politician. I think he was the director of a welfare. I think they was at a welfare office, and they were at the welfare office, and they were all just yelling at this guy. They was yelling at this guy. What's going on, Ruben? They were yelling at this guy, and they was like, well, because they were doing welfare cuts, and they was like this or that. And finally, he got so tired of listening to these delusional individuals that he started just being honest with them. Just being honest. And one woman said, why are y'all cutting the program, this and that? He was like, the budget, blah, 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 blah. And another woman said, well, who's supposed to take care of my kid? And the guy said, it's your kid. You take care of it. And that one thing brought a calm in the room. It was like, look, ladies, I'm not going to allow you to sit in here and drill me on your issues like we owe you resolutions to the fact that you had this child, not us. That is in parallel to what I am saying to you here this morning. Excuse me. That is in parallel. And what I mean by in parallel, what I'm saying is, a lot of you are or don't realize that when you do something, or you decide that you want to be, hold on a second, you decide that you want to ignore all the rules of engagement in life, When you decide that you want to commit a crime, when you decide that instead of being a valuable member of society, you decide that you want to go the other way and be a menace, you're actually putting worth on yourself. You are devaluing your worth. That's what you're doing. You're doing that. It's got nothing to do with nobody else. That's what you're doing. If you decide that that's your worth, then that's you. So let me break something down to you. People, my brother was killed by a cop. My brother was killed by a cop. This is how I know this, by the way. And when my brother was killed by a cop, my family sued. Now, here's what you're going to do, or here's what you would think. You would think that um, everybody is the same. Everybody is the same. No, everybody is not the same. Your mind state. Remember now, I'm the guy that tells you that a lot of people run around here and say that black women and white women are different. No, they're not. They're not the same. Their mindset and their mind state is different. That's what's different. So give me a second. Second up. So their mind state is different. So what you guys want to believe is that you can, because the unfortunates, a lot of people want to believe this. A lot of people want to believe that they could be reckless, and then they can be reckless all their life, and then wake up on Thursday and say, I don't want to be reckless no more. And then everybody's supposed to look at them as this newfound individual, as this, oh, no, they're not reckless no more. They are this. No. Remember the term, Mr. Smith? Yeah. Your reputation precedes you. That's the saying. All right. So I'm going to tell you guys a story about when my brother was killed by a cop. I'm going to tell you guys a story. So my brother was living that life. Appreciate those thumbs up, y'all. Right. My brother was living that life. My brother was proud of the life that he was living. He was being a menace. Hold on. Hold on. Menace. 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 All right. So my brother decided he wanted to live that life. Then my brother was killed was in a stolen car. And was in a stolen car, ended up getting shot by the cops. Okay, I'm telling you guys this because I know firsthand. And my family, they sued. All right, and my family sued, didn't get anything. Why didn't my family get anything? My family didn't get anything because my brother was a menace to society. My brother had already set his worth. You see, what you can't do is you can't run around and be a nothing and then want everybody else to look at you like you're worth anything. You can't live your life partying your life away, doing all these things. You can't have 5 kids by 5 different dudes and then look at some other individual that had 5 kids by one man that's married and think you're the same as them. No, you're not. That person is better than you. All right. You can't think that it was cool to live a life and say, yeah, I think it's cool to just be about that life. You know what I mean? I'm about that life. Because I'm going to tell you something. When I watch the first 48, I see all these dudes, when they sitting down there in an integration room E, they start crying. And I'll be laughing. People, I'm going to tell you something. You heard me say this hundreds of times, if not thousands, because I've done over 50,000 videos. I look at the first 48 for comedy. I don't look at the first 48. The first 48 is not a thriller to me. The first 48 is not a suspense. The first 48 is a comedy for me. When I see somebody laying there shot in the head, and I'll be listening to the commentary, Mr. John Killer Mook was an inspiring rapper. He leaves behind 2 kids. He was a loving father. And he got on all red. No, he flamed out. He got on all red, got the bandana, got the gang bandana in his pocket. And I'm like, boy, that narrator is something else. Boy, boy, that dude is a liar. All right, please allow me to continue. And then at the end to see all these women standing around, oh, baby, oh, like, come on, you know you raised an idiot. Come on, stop it. Where was I? And you see this, and you go to jail and you do all this stuff, and then what you do is you go to jail and then you get out of prison, and then you got that nobody want to give a brother a chance. No, you had a chance. Everybody got a chance. Listen, for all these individuals that been to jail, guess what? When they gave you 5 years, you may not believe this, jail person people. Listen, all you jail person peoples, when they give you 5 years, all right, when they give you 5 years, that same amount of time is the exact same amount of time people that are not in prison get. We get 365 days 5 times. It's not like you got 365 days, you got a year, which is 365 days, and then you went into prison, and then our year is 1,000 days. We get the equal amount of time. You decided that when you did whatever activity you wanted to be even involved in, you decided that that's what you wanted to do with your time. Now I need y'all to follow me. Then you go to prison and you get out, and then you scream. Appreciate those thumbs up, y'all. No, you don't scream that. That's what I'm saying. You screaming, don't know why anyone want to give me a job because I got a felon. Sorry. I don't blame them. I don't. But you are putting the value on yourself. You know, it's the one thing that I always tell my man James Lewis, Health Before Wealth, as 2 single guys. I was saying that the unfortunate stuff, the women that I used to run into, they wanted me cheap. I ran into women that was like, no, I don't want you to be that dude. I want to get you cheap. I want you at 2 cents on a dollar. No, I like the fact that you're successful, but I need you to be this way. In order for me to deal with you better, I gotta degrade you. I gotta keep you under. I gotta always complain about things that you do. And then you listening to all the other guys that they dealt with, and the other guys was cheating on this and all that, and you're like, I don't do none of that to you. But they always find something to complain to you about. Those individuals want you cheap. You set your own worth. That's what you do. You set your worth. Society doesn't set your worth. Society does not set your worth. So please allow me to continue on explaining to you how I know this. So my brother was killed, and then my family went to go sue. Do you know that when my brother was killed by the cops and the family sued, my dad is standing up there in court, and not standing in court when we went to you go to the hearing before that. It never went to court, by the way. We went to the monitor. I got it on my brain. I forgot the name of it. You go to the I forgot. I got so much in the brain. But you go to a preliminary before it goes into court, and they just ask you a bunch of questions, right? And so the attorney was talking to my dad and was like, so my dad is all proud of what he was doing. Yeah, I got X amount of trucks. I got this. I do this. And then my dad was just all in his set. And they were just looking at him like, yeah, what ready? They was looking at my dad ready to drop a truth bomb on him. And so my dad just talking about how great he was as a man. And there was a question that was asked to my father. Yeah. So if you was making all this, why does Essex County welfare got this same person as being a welfare recipient by Mrs. Smith and blah, blah, blah? Can you explain that? And my dad, how he treated his family. This is why I went 17 years and didn't speak to him. All right. Because I was saying the same thing back when I was a teenager. Like, whoa, why are we living here? Because I went to work with him one day, and one of his workers told me how much my dad made. And I was like, my dad make what? He was like, yeah, Todd makes $28,000 a week. I said, my dad makes $28,000 a week? Then he was like, yeah, he got 5 runs. And he was like, how much do you think your run makes? I said, my run makes about $1,300. That's how much what my dad told me. He said, your run makes $1,300? Yeah. No, that's 1/3 of what your run makes. The run you do, the garment district, makes about $4,000 a week. And I was like, what? When he told me that, I quit working for my father and never worked for him a day after that. You know why? Because here's a man that taught me worth, and then he was turning around and trying to fiddle with my buttonhole, and I was like, I ain't having that. So $4,000 a week, and not every run did 4,000, but 4,000. My dad had 5 runs. Some did 5. My dad was making 28,000 a week, and I'm like, well, why are we living up on welfare? There I go again. Me exposing how my morals are and worth, even when I was a teenager. But we ain't talking about me. So now that same thing is getting asked of my father. And I'm sitting there like, well, what do you know? Somebody else agrees with me. So my mother and father, well, my father, on the other hand, because he brought the lawsuit forward. My mom was just riding along. But my dad wanted to cash in on the fact, because I asked my mom, well, why are you suing with him? Why aren't you suing on your own? And my mom, being the woman that she is, well, I don't want to, and I don't. And anyway, so my dad brought about the lawsuit, and they checked my father. So they gave my mom and dad $5,000 for the tombstone and the burial expenses, but the other monies, which was about $100,000, they gave to his unborn son. So my mom and dad didn't get anything, and I agreed with that 1,000,000% from the perspective of my dad shouldn't have got nothing. If you was living the life you was living and we was on welfare, then you shouldn't have got nothing. So I was glad of that. So in hindsight, if I can tell you guys about that, then how then do an individual navigate themselves through life, commit a crime? Because let me tell you something. When an individual get out of prison, the first thing they want to do is find a woman that's going to say, I'll deal with you, because they need to get back on board. They need to get back on. My man Ruben says, I had a cousin who got a life sentence, 37 years, got mixed up with the wrong crowd. He was about that life, and his mom encouraged him to be about that life. Fast money. He committed suicide a few years ago. Wow. Yeah. There's a lot of women out there that encourages their children to be about that life because they'll benefit from it. If you've seen the Wu-Tang saga, it dropped my jaw to see a mother encouraging her sons to be out there and be about that life, because she just was spitting out all these kids and just couldn't take care of them. So it was like, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna have my children be drug dealers, because they gonna. Now, once again, you look at Wu-Tang Saga, it's saying the same thing that Ruben is talking about. And Ruben, I hope you don't mind. I'm going to screenshot that comment. I'm gonna screenshot that comment and post it on my social media, because that's some true stuff you just dropped. Just give me a second, because we talking about black folks. You do know you set your own worth, right? You do know that. Yeah. I don't think you do. All right. I have to stop and do it while I'm streaming, because if not, I'll forget. Then later on, I'll go look at my phone and I'll see all these things and I'll be like, oh, delete. So I got to start doing them. I got to start putting them, posting them when I say I'm going to do it. So I'm going to talk about tomorrow at tomorrow night at 9 o'clock, people. I'm going to talk about women. All right. I'm going to talk about women. And more so than that, I'm going to talk about my woman. I'm going to talk about women. I want to help y'all understand what it means when you got a woman that's with you for the interest of you. I'm going to help y'all understand that. So if you got friends that got a woman, you need to tell them, tune your sin tomorrow at 9 p.m. Hold on. I'm posting it, so please forgive me. Okay, individuals that follow me on Instagram, see, I actually just posted that. All right, so um, where I was at was, so my mom, and dad didn't get anything, and they didn't get anything because people. I'm gonna tell you like this. I was telling my lady this morning, people, we are all here with one purpose: to contribute to the good of society. That's it. You're not here for nothing else. You're not here to be flossing. You're not here to be every Thursday night. It's an all-white event. That's what you're not. You're here to contribute to society. You know, a man by the name of John F. Kennedy said something. He said, ask not what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country. Remember that? Remember when politicians were politicians? Remember when politicians did not encourage you to be a nothing and shut down society and just want to kill the economy so now they can govern us and choke us for making a living, choke us and then say, well, I'm going to give you a stimulants. Look back in times, in the early days, how many stimulants checks was given out. And then you get stimulants checks that's insufficient to your life. But that's another story. And because you're sitting down waiting for the stimulants, unfortunately, you just making my point here today. They set your worth. But I need y'all to follow me, and I appreciate those thumbs up. So my father got to understand that you didn't care about your kids. So we're not trying to hear nothing about a lawsuit. So get on. Now, when you put that in the perspective of these individuals raising children under the perspective of my children don't need a father, and like Ruben just said, about that life, mama, I'm about that life, son. This is why when individuals get killed by a cop, they start releasing all the bad things about him. Well, in the 3rd grade, he kicked his teacher, and when he was 2 years old, he went to bathroom on himself, and he had on a suit. This is why all that stuff comes out. Now, that's the unfortunates of the way it is. And then what people say is they always do this to black people. No, this is what they do to everybody. Let me tell y'all something. A great man by the name of, what was his name there? Oh, he was a general. What was his name? Oh, yeah, General Colin Powell. General Colin Powell, at the height of his success, it was General Colin Powell and General Norman Schwarzkopf. Them two individuals devised a plan to choke the heck out of the Saudis. I'm going to need y'all to follow me. General Colin Powell and General Norman Schwarzkopf. Well, guess what? General Norman Schwarzkopf died. Salute to you, General. He died. But in 1996, General Colin Powell, a black man, was encouraged to run for office. And they did a poll, and they said in 1996, he would have won by a landslide. It wouldn't have been close. The reason why he didn't is because he said, I don't want nobody saying anything publicly bad about my family. So he knew, even as a general, he would have been subjected to criticism. And he said, what he's not going to do, it's not going to be a career about me. I am going to think about my beautiful wife. I'm going to think about my lovely children, and I'm not going to expose them to the critique and criticism that someone does when they enter the spotlight. He stayed under the covenants of being a hero, being a general in this United States Army. So back to what I'm saying. So what is it exactly that I'm saying? People, you cannot, and I mean you cannot navigate yourself through life. You cannot navigate yourself through life under the context of I'm grown, or I'm just about that life. Know what I mean, son? I'm about that life. Step to me, kill that nigga. And then you sit down there and you do a crime and you commit a crime and you want to be held to some type of worth. That's why, like I told y'all, I watched the first 48 and it's just funny to me. I'll be watching the first 48 and I literally almost be going to the bathroom on myself when I see them. Let's go look at Killer Cam Facebook, and in his Facebook he's like, yeah man, I kill old ladies, man. One day this old lady came around me smelling like Bengay, man. I pulled out both of my burners and I burnt that. That's right, I burnt that. I don't play that, son. And then 10 minutes later into the show, he's in interrogation room C. I'm going to jail, sir. No, sir, I didn't do that, sir. Now he's sir. They know manners and meanings when they get in that interrogation room. They just know it's for some. Oh, you just hear the song of Mary Joseph. Oh, yes, no, yes, sir. No, yeah, no, I didn't do that, sir. Oh. It's just funny to me, man. Listen, you can't watch the first 48 with me. You can't. I'm looking at the first 48 cracking up. That's what I'm doing over her. I'm cracking up. And then this is what you guys do. And I had an individual say to me, well, the Democrats may want to choke us. The Democrats may want to suppress us as a people, but the Republicans, they give us more time for the crime. And I said to myself, wow, so I just want to make sure I understand you correct. Stiffer laws is not okay. Stiffer laws, but just killing your right to pursue a life of freedom and liberties is okay. Your right to live life in the pursuit of happiness, they kill that, and that's okay. This is the dumb stuff that I gotta listen to. This is the dumb stuff that when people. Let me tell you what I learned 2 weeks ago. Let me go left for a second. I haven't gone left yet. Allow me to go left. Here's what I learned. Stop allowing people to borrow your intellect. Stop. Stop. Stop getting into conversations with people that have a hidden agenda, not to participate in the conversation, but to try to bring you down in their intellect status. They don't converse with you from the perspective of, I want to learn something from you because you got your smarts is through the roof. Their perspective is, I just want to converse with you to tell you and help you understand what you're not. Then you end up letting them borrow your intellect. I remember, I'm still left. I remember, and you guys that follow me on my Instagram, I posted it on my Instagram. I remember I was conversing with an idiot that asked me what I feel about Black Lives Matter. I took this individual like ankle deep waters, and I started losing her. Well, now I've realized that I'm talking to a dummy. We're going to take her in knee deep water. And she was just totally lost. And then the typical things that they do, they start with the insults. They start with now they want to try to devalue. Oh, so what you saying? Because I don't know that. I don't know this conversation. That's exactly what I'm saying. I don't know who you used to talking to. But yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. And then they say to themselves, oh, I'm dealing with somebody that my pussy power got nothing. I can't control him with the thought of him getting some pussy. He going to tear off into my butthole. Yes, I am. So understand that a lot of you individuals, you set your own worth. You cannot go out and be a menace to society and then think you worth that person that did everything right, did everything in life the right way. You know, the thing that kills me the most is when I'm asked, and I haven't been in a while, but last time somebody asked me this, it was the early 2000s. They said this to me. Oh, you think you better than me? I'm like, yeah. Why are you? I am. We ain't equal. The only thing that's equal about us is our ability to live. We're not equal. Two people are not equal. There ain't no two people the same. But I used to get individuals that try to, oh, you think you're better than me. You always think no, I am. I'm humble as hell. They want to ignore that. Oh, this and all that. Like I always tell individuals, no, remember how you met me. I didn't come up to you with the hey baby lines. Remember how you met me. It's the reason why I have to say, remember how you met me. Because they want to ignore that and now try to put me in a perspective or a spot that don't belong to me. And I ain't buying that. Then I have to start with then I have to hit him with intellect. And you know what intellect does to the dumb. Intellect is insulting. Oh, don't get me started. But you do know you set your own worth. You do. You can't assume that you can have 5 kids and it's the welfare office's problem to bring some life and pump life and validation and a chance to your children. You can't think that. You can't think that. That's not how this works. You set your own worth. You do. What I was told, what my family was told when it came to my brother, he did not finish high school. And because he did not finish high school, his chances of being successful were nil. Nil, whatever the word is. Nil. That's what my mom and dad was told. Well, what was the expectations of this black man that didn't even finish high school? You want parallels to this, right? Okay. This is why white people have more worth than us. And to give you a perspective of what I mean, now, I'm not saying I believe this. So learn how to let yourself be educated and stop trying to convert everything to an insult, dummy. So you know what my mom told me when this happened? My mom said, son, I'm going to need a picture of you in your Army uniform. I said, why? She said, because if anything happened to you, that is the photo that I'm going to put as this is my son, an Army man. I sued the police department before. And when I sued the police department, Orange, New Jersey, here's what happened. They arrested me. A cop that gave me a ticket for driving in New Jersey with a Virginia license, he said the license don't carry over. That cop didn't pull me over, said I made an illegal left turn when I never made a left turn. I said the origins of where I came from, I came out of Morris Street, I made a right turn onto Valley, and I kept going down. He pulled me over on Valley. I said I never made a left turn, but this is the flagrantness of the cops. He then said, you got a warrant because I gave you a ticket a couple of months ago. And I was like, I came to court for that. Nope. Gave me a ticket, put the cuffs on tight. I had numbness in my, just treated me like crap. When we went to court, all of his attorneys was looking at me like this. One black woman, 2 white guys, and an Indian or something. Just every time I say, well, I was in the military. I object. They all just yelled out, object, Your Honor. He's trying to persuade a jury by giving them who or what he is. See, they didn't want me to sit up there and say, military, high school graduate, top honors in the military, honorable discharge. They didn't want me to give my resume. So every time I spoke, every 3 words, well, I object. And I said, I turned to the jury. I said, y'all see what's going on here? I said, I'm sorry. I knew what was going on. I said to them, I'm sorry, y'all looking at me, thinking y'all going to intimidate me. I said, I'm real comfortable where I'm at. I was animated even then. I said, I'm real comfortable where I'm at. You don't want to hear, and dig this, I was also a volunteer on the Marshalls Creek Fire Department. So I'm military fireman, all-out Boy Scout. My attorney said to them when we went in the hallway, yeah, next time you guys will think twice about working with a Boy Scout. So they kept hitting us with, you want to settle for this? Please, you want to settle? Finally, they went up to $50,000. I said, I'll take it. I said, hold on, $50,000 and your fees are separate. We went back in the courtroom. We settled for 50. We came to an agreement. We came to a settlement. They released the jury, wrote up the paperwork. I got my cash. So worth, you set your own worth. You cannot be under this mythical assumption that I'm gonna get. Let me say this also too about I got $50,000 in that lawsuit. Let me say something else to you. I went to school with a white kid that had these 3 fingers missing. When he was a kid, they got caught in the escalator, took his fingers off. He had got $2 million when he was 3 years old. So why did a 3-year-old white kid get 2 million for these fingers missing, and my mom and dad got 5,000, and then my nephew got 100,000? What's going on, Lim? Why? You know why? Because that white kid came from a white mom that was predominant, a white man that was predominant, and that was the assumption. See, when you add up the parents, the offspring is assumed to be just as. I need y'all to follow me. Now I'm gonna be clear. I do not blame their math. I don't blame them. Maybe it'll stop individuals from wasting time with skeet niggas and dudes. Stop wasting time with welfarians, because now you run into the system to validate you. Remember, I'm asking you, do you know your own worth? Okay, so that 3-year-old had a baby with a mom and a father where it was prominent, and their offspring was assumed to be prominent. If my brother got killed by a woman that was on welfare, and a man that made so much money and did not care that his family's on welfare, now that's a stagnant family. We now cannot claim that we are of a sound mind and we are moving. Let me do my dance. We are now moving as one unit. People, I did not make this math up. It is my job to kick facts to you at 100%, which in turn makes me the hated one. Now, you can go ahead and try to rebuttal what I'm saying here, or you can go ahead and get in your feelings. Yeah, but God created us all equal. No, he created time. Time is equal. We are not all created equal. Me and my lady was in Target last night. I seen a woman that had, I don't know, she ain't have no hand. Her thing stopped here. We are not equal. Time is all equal. We all get the equal amount of time. I remember those Siamese twins that was connected together. They said they were separated. I'm like, how do you separate two females? It's only one body. I don't even want to think about it. But time is the equal. We are all not created equal. Stop. We need to stop with that. There are individuals born with cancer right out the gate. There's individuals born with defects right out the gate. We are not created equal. Time is the only thing that's equal. Time. Now you can go ahead and rebuttal that too. But fine, tell me where I'm wrong. We are all not created. The way we are created may be equal. You know, mom in there laying on her back, getting that nut. You know, we always created a couple of seconds after, ow! After daddy yelled off, after he busted off. After daddy busted off. After daddy busted off, daddy got that nut. We all been created equal. The way we was created, some people was born in a test tube and stuff like that. So, I don't know. People, I sometimes I just be saying stuff and don't even know what I'm saying. I have no idea what I'm talking about, if you believe that. Okay. I have no idea what I'm saying. I don't have no idea what I'm saying. I am such a scallywag. I don't mean to be a scallywag though. I try to be I try to speak and always try to come at this thing and be speak from the perspective of like, wow, yeah, I didn't realize that. So just understand that. Just understand that, please. You cannot be absent of time. I tell my lady all the time, and I tell you guys too, at 50 years old, shut up. Your resume speaks for you. You can't run around and say, I'm gonna blah, blah, blah. Your resume speaks for you. That's what your resume does. You got a resume? You got a resume? Your resume speaks for you. When you turn 50, just shut your mouth. Okay? Just hush it. Zip it. So I appreciate you guys, man, for being here this morning at 10 Eastern Standard Time. Y'all know I'm going to do this thing again tonight at 9. I'm going to do this thing again tonight at 9 o'clock. I got a couple of shows coming up. If I didn't tell y'all about, let me tell you about them again. And that is Being single, I'm gonna do a show called "Being Single Provides." Uh, Being single requires discipline. Yeah, it requires discipline. Um, when you single, the perspective came about because me and my lady was talking about an individual that she was saying, man, you got to understand, women get needy, this and all that, that. and and I hear that a lot, but it just requires discipline. Because I'm gonna tell you guys something. When it comes to being single, you're gonna meet somebody that you're gonna want to be with. The problem is you can't clean your house quick enough. It just never happens. It never. You're either gonna get a phone call, you're gonna get something, you're gonna be with that person, and they're gonna be all, I'm transparent, and then you're gonna answer the phone and put it on speaker, and then you're like, girl, I miss when you used to suck my balls. You're gonna be like, oh, that's how it's gonna be. It's gonna be like that. So I always made sure that I had a clean house. My lady is here now. Ain't nobody gonna come knocking on the door. Oh, so you just put your gall in my mouth and now you got another at your house? Nah, that ain't how I roll. We don't roll like that. So being single requires discipline. I'm gonna talk about that tonight. And I'm gonna talk about tomorrow morning at 10. I'm gonna talk about smashing watermelons. Smashing watermelons. Where does this thing come from? Where smashing watermelons offends black people? Boy, we some sensitive people, boy. I swear, we sensitive. We are sensitive. We are so sensitive. So, what is this thing doing? Have feedback. Screenshot loading. Really? What's going on? What's going on, Bank? Yeah, man, you is late, brother. It's all good. It's all good. Appreciate you always for being here. In addition to that, I want to once again thank Jimmy McDonald for that $25 contribution. Jimmy McDonald, I really appreciate you, brother, for that $25 contribution to the movement. And then Sean G, I appreciate that that $10 contribution to the movement. So I'm gonna be back here tonight. Good morning, may I help you? I'm sorry, you tried to do what?
I was trying to buy a massage online at this website, and they debited my account, and I never got the massage.
Yeah. Hey, listen.
I want my $39.99 back.
No, you gotta.
Debited my account 3 times.
Yeah. Let me talk, because you ain't letting me talk. This is a cell phone for 98.3.com FM. You're like the 20th person in the last month and a half that called with that issue. I just had this phone number for about 3 weeks. I didn't have this phone number long, so I don't know. Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Well, I'll just call the other number.
Yeah. Well, just also call your. You can call your bank and set a.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
Oh, okay. Okay. Wow. Something is up with that, because he's just like, yeah, I know, and hung up. Normally be like, I'm fighting a little more. He's just like, yeah, I know, click. So, oh well, there's like a lot of 20th person called. Like, God dang. So, all right. So listen, once again, man, I'll see you guys tonight at 9. Enjoy your day. All right. Bye. So cheesy. Bye.